It's going to be a very interesting, the whole purpose of this video is to show you how to handle punky wood. Here's where this is the other half of the log I cut to make this bowl, and you see how punky it is all through here and here and here. Well, this, I'm going to show you how to take care of that punkiness and end up with a bowl. I'm going to get it up here a little closer. You can see how smooth this is. This was all punky or close to rot right in this area. So stay tuned. I'm going to show you how to do it. Yeah, what you're looking at here is American holly. It's really a gnarly piece of punky wood. But the idea of this video is to show you how I handle punky wood. So I'm going to go round up the chainsaw and cut off a chunk and then take it into the bandsaw and see if I can make a bowl blank out of it. I've turned one before out of it. It's really pretty wood, but it is really punky inside. So it's going to be a challenge. So let's go get it. Hey, here's a chunk I cut off. And it's pretty punky in some places, but if you hear the difference. See there? And in here, going around like this, it seems pretty solid, but you got this right here. It's not too bad, but it's got some nice spalting in it. My thought is to utilize these cracks and cut it like right here. Then have a blank here and a blank here. This side ought to have some nice grain pattern in it because a limb was cut off right there. It also has some places there. I'm not sure which one I'm going to use. But anyway, let's go to the bandsaw and see if I can't whittle this thing off. Well, I've got it cut, and tried to decide which one of the blanks I want to use. I went ahead and marked this one off for an 8-inch bowl. It has a pretty deep area right here, but it looks like it might be all right. There's punkiness right in here. So you can come down here, this could be the bottom, like so. And that would be turned off. This up here seems like it's pretty good. This is really solid here. It's soft right in these areas. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mark this one for another 8-inch bowl. Grandson can turn one of them maybe. Right there. So we got a choice here. This one doesn't seem to have anything back here. This could be a very nice bottom, I think. This crack's right here. It only goes down, so if I, for instance, if I come in here like this, something like that, I would have to deal with this crack and a little bit of this one, but not too much. So I could come in here actually and make more of a shallow bowl and get rid of most of that. This one I like a little better because this is where the limb was right here. So you got some pretty grain right in this area. I think I'm going to go with this one and save this one. Let my grandson turn it. So I'm going to go ahead and this will be the bottom. So I'm going to mount a faceplate right here. So my way of doing this is to use a step drill and drill a hole right here. And the purpose of that is to accommodate this guide. This is a 1 inch on one end, 1 1/4 on the other. So that sits right in there, which in turn, with this right here, and that fits right in there, and I've got my center. I'm going to use a little longer screws than normal because Well, it's punky. I have a tendency to turn hard, so I need something to make sure it's not going to go and grow wings. All right, well, let me get this on. I've seen face plates put on many a time. All right, I've got it all mounted. Here's a little something some of you guys might be interested in. I had just cleaned out my bandsaw. It was as clean as could be inside, and the only wood I cut was this. So I opened it up and I cleaned it out, and here's all the sawdust, and this will be perfect for filling it. You know, it's this wood right here. There was nothing else in it. So that, you know, that's a pretty good idea, really. I mean, every time you get done with your bandsaw, clean it out, and next time if you need some of this, it'll be there, free. We are Red Eye. All right, and right now all I'm trying to do is get it round, and it's there. Now I'm going to come in here like this because I'm going to put a tenon on the bottom. Maybe. That's awful punky. But we're going to fix it. One thing I like about my beaver is that it's so heavy I can do a pretty good reach with it without it starting to jerk around on me. I lost the chunk there. Yep. Let's see what that big old chunk come flying off. See what it looks like now. Ooh, Betsy. Yeah. We're a little shallow now on it, but that's all right. Ooh, Betsy. Oh, not much, don't like much. Come across here a little more. And I gotta come in past that before I can think about a tenon. I'm gonna come in here, all about down to here, and clean that off, and then we'll back drag it or whatever to make it smooth, and then we'll tackle the punkiness and cracks. Well, you know that's going to be a beautiful bowl. I'm going to clean this face up a little bit. I've got my calipers here, and I'm going to mark for my tenon, and then we're going to build the tenon. And a 1/4 inch bowl gouge, I'm going to make my dovetail with it. It'll be the perfect angle there. Alright, I'm going to come here and try to clean some of this up with a little shear cutting and oh, look at much better. No pokiness right in here, and I got to fix those. Not near as bad as that. Oh, there's a lot of pokiness here. I'll fix every bit of that. I'm going to come in here and shear cut it like this to get, the best I can. I'm done with the beaver for a while, till I do the inside. It's turned out to be my go-to tool. I can always depend on it. It does the job, that's about all I can say. So let's do a little bit shear cutting if we can, and then we'll tackle those cracks and that punkiness. I mean, for being as punky as it is, look there, that is turned out a lot better than I thought it would. Very nice. Most guys would go with that, but I'm going to go ahead just to show you how to fix all this punkiness. First thing I'm going to do is this. It's got a long crack from here to here and here to here. I'm going to go ahead and fix that. I'll get that done and I'll shear it again probably before I tackle the other part. So I'll put a little layer of super glue in it. I'll come in here with my holly sawdust. Ooh. You don't want to do that with your bare fingers if you can help it. It's amazing how hot that gets, how quick it gets that hot. These right here. I'm going to go ahead and put some here on this. I like to put a little on my tenon, especially. There's a punky wood here, so it will compress on you. Put your tenon on, you put your chuck on, and you get it pretty tight. And I guarantee you can come back an hour later and you can tighten it some more because this compresses. When you're using this for shear cutting, like I was doing, you really, and you got it at this angle, you really need to have your eye on this upper corner. Because if you come in here and you dip it a little much and that catches you, you got a problem. And I found out that if you've got some wood here, let's say there's a knot right here and you're trying to shear it, it's going to be hard and it's going to make it bounce. You're better off not to do it this way. You're better off to use a skew or something else, maybe a round nose scraper. Because if it starts bouncing, you don't lose control, but you will dip that in there and it'll catch on you. So you're better off not to do that. Okay. I'm going to put a couple coats of sealer on it because it's probably going to absorb it like a hungry dog. Maybe I can get it off, that is. There you go. So this is the MinWax Sanding Sealer, like I always use, in case some of you new guys are watching. You can get it at Amazon or Lowe's. And I like it, it's water-based. Your first coat will cause your wood grain to lift a little bit. But I really see that as a plus, not a minus. All you do is sand them down and you're good to go. I'm going to put some of this on until it doesn't absorb it anymore. And I always put it on real heavy to begin with. This particular sealer really works as a wood hardener too. I mean, this is, I know I brag about it, but I've used that MinWax, I don't even have it anymore, throw away wood hardener, like $10 for a little old pint of it. It doesn't do any better than this. And I went through 2 of them, and it just doesn't. This is going to be pretty, all right. I'm going to sit that there for a minute. I always sort of wipe it off. I'll do another in a minute, a real wet one. This one downside, I guess if there is any, is that it, see how it's sort of right in there like that? If you leave it like that, it'll dry like that, and you'll have to sand it out. So you got to wipe it down, or blot it out or something like that, because it will screw you up. All right, that looks good. Of course, we're going to be doing some sanding and stuff on this anyway, so it doesn't have to be that good. All right, let's put another one on. Get this ready. Now this one, okay, I'm going to go to an area that's really punky, right in here. I guess you can see right in this area. And I'm going to take and put a nice thick coat of this stuff on it right here. Now I'm immediately going to come back with the shavings, and I'm going to do this with them. Sort of like make it really get into those pores. Make like almost like a paste out of it. Just go around here and do some more. That really looks good there. I don't need to do nothing there. Right here is really punky. You can probably see that. So put you a little nice wet application on there. Put you some of that on there, and it's super punky right in this area. Need a bit more. Okay, what do we got around here? Oh, that looks pretty good. Already done that, but I missed some right there. Here we go. And I always come back, and I'm not brushing it, I'm just sort of putting it on this time. And I am going to not wipe this off. If you're sealing on wood that's relatively smooth, you always want to wipe this off. I'm going to sand this anyway, and I'm going to use power tools to do it with. After this dries, in a second, I'm going to go get the heater and put on it, and it'll sit here for about half hour or so and dry it, and then I'll come back with the butterfly sanders and sand it down. And we'll see what we got. May have to do it twice, I doubt it. I've had a lot of luck doing it this way. I've had so much luck doing it this way, I can buff it. Just sealer, and it turns out really nice. All right, there we are, guys. So, I'm going to let that do that. In fact, I'm going to turn it just barely. There you go. And I'll get my heater. Put a little space heater on it right here. All right, that's going to sit there for 15, 20 minutes and it'll be good and dry. And I'll be back and we'll continue. Okay, it's good and dry now. I'm going to use two tools here. I call them butterfly sanders. This first one is used a little bit, but this is 80 grit. And then I'll follow it up with another one, and that's 220. And that's all I'll use, and it will be ready to buff when I'm done. I'll turn on the dust collector, and I will do it by hand first, and then when I get it to where I want it, if I don't have to apply any more stuff, I'll spin it real slow to make sure I don't have any flat spots. Okay. All right. Right. You have to keep them moving. That's very important. That was 80, now I'm going to follow it up with 220. I never totally finish the bottom of a bowl until the inside's done. I think I've said that before. In fact, I know I have, but hopefully I have some new subscribers. And the reason you do that, the reason I do it anyway, more than once I've spent a lot of time and energy and materials finishing the outside of a bowl only to flip it around and something happen. Like, flies off or, I have a breakout or something. And then the bowl is pretty near worthless. So I wasted all that time. So I have made it a habit of never finishing it, the outside. I get it ready for the final, but I don't do it. So we're going to put this on it now. And you can tell, how good it is whether or not the sealer sits on top or soaks in. This is all sitting on top. I see no dull spots is what you look for. And if you see those, you need to put quite a bit more. And I will end up putting another one on this, even after this, before I buff it. And I will use hand-used 320 after the next one, and then I'll buff it. Go ahead and put some right here. Get that thing a little tighter. That is going to be a pretty little bowl, guys. It's going to be a pretty little bowl. All right, it's good and dry. Feels a little rough now, but it'll always do that till you sand it a little bit. Okay, so we're going to put the chuck on now. I always use the dry center to do that with. Now, come up here like so. There you go. That holds it in place. And I put a little pressure on it, not a whole lot. And then, tighten it down. This video about fixing the punky wood is really not about the turning portion of it. So I'm going to skip most of the hauling of the inside because the video is it's going to be extremely long if I show it all. And we're going to, in a second here, we'll skip to the end where I start to buff it, and we'll see what our end results is going to be. Now I'm going to do the same treatment on the inside that I did on the outside. the next morning again. What I've done is get right here where you can see it, is I went ahead and finished the inside with just polish spray. And you know, after I sanded it and got it smooth naturally. And the outside, I hit it with by hand with a little 320 just to knock off high spots, and then I came behind it with double aught steel wool by hand. And now I'm going to buff it, or see if it'll buff. So here we go. It's going to be just fine. I see the shine already. Got about 4, maybe 5 coats of sealer on it, because every time I did the inside, I did the outside. After I'd already done the outside quite a bit. Little spots right in here. What I did on the bottom is I got too aggressive with the sanding, unfortunately. But I did. All right. There you go. See how well you can see this. Bring it up here. Get my ugly mug out of the way. See the shine? This turned out to be a really pretty little bowl. Got a little aggressive sanding right in this area. But this bowl was more of an experiment than I guess you would call it a product, because I don't sell my work anyway. I just give it to my friends and family. All right, there we go. I'll take some pictures and post them at the end. So I want to thank you for your time. Hope you learned something. Don't give up on punky wood. You can make it work. I did. Okay, keep on working. Subscribe. I don't need to tell you that. You know that. So we'll catch you on the rebound. Bye.